Not all that glitters is gold. What does this glitter in the air, floating down on man and beast, have to do with me and mine? How can this affect me? I have a busy life and cannot be bothered by more details. Why should I care? But for the fact that the vitamin D deception has already affected all mammals. We have seen industry dump poison into the air supply forever, it seems. Big agriculture has aerial sprayed our cheap food for decades and everything downwind. Since BP Macondo, we have seen sky controllers aerial spraying for oil dissipation and camouflage. For many months, it was our only news. It was a perfect example of military-industrial cooperation. Maybe this spraying is the equivalent of the perfect war on America. Planes with invisible bombs, subtle collateral damage, and no one in authority seems to know a real answer or is accountable. What makes this high-altitude aerial spraying different that should concern anyone? Well, one good reason to think about, why is it not openly talked about? That someone is spending and making mountains of money doing it. Hundreds of planes spraying all around the world. What is it with all the secrets in the open and nothing on the news about life-changing chemical and metallic aerosol material snowing a blizzard from the sky and filling lungs across America and much of the civilized world, with quick but quiet toxic results to all on the ground, and the children still play without warning? Truth can be a flammable mixture.
We do not expect this generation of kids now, the ones born after 2000, to outlive their parents.
That's already going on right now in Louisiana.
It's going on all over. It isn't just there.
I do direct patient care, and I get all their labs, and I do diet therapy with them. And so, of course, vitamin D, they'll send them to me and say, hey, let's get their vitamin D intake up. You can't do it with food.
What's the situation with vitamin D and the people that come in here?
We're finding now that about 90% deficiency rates.
Because when they come in, some of them are so sick they can hardly walk through the door. And it's chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, heavy metal toxicity, environmental illness, and whatever other label you want to put on it. Almost every single one of them is deficient in vitamin D and iodine.
That's right.
And who are you and what do you do?
I am a physician, internal medicine, alternative care.
Every year we do a big health fair here and check people's blood work. And so I've been doing that for, maybe 8 years or so. So, that's maybe 600 people. I've probably had 3, maybe 4 people. Certainly, you can count on one hand out of that 600 the amount of people that have had a normal vitamin D level.
Over the past probably 2 years, I have tested several hundred people for iodine. Only 4 have come back normal.
Same story in Amarillo. Out of 600 people, 4 were normal for vitamin D and iodine. 4 out of 600.
Now, I've probably had 6 to 8 that were normal in vitamin D.
Every patient that I've seen that has had their vitamin D level checked has been low. It doesn't matter whether they're in the sun, out of the sun, use sunscreen, don't use sunscreen, whether they're fair skin, dark skin, it doesn't matter. And most of them have been severely low. A level of around 11 to 13 is generally what I see, which is severely low. And I've never yet seen a patient check that did not have a normal, or that did have a normal vitamin D level.
Explain vitamin D as a hormone and explain how it is the system driver basically, and what can go wrong if that's not in our bodies.
Well, it controls many of your functions.
But is it a vitamin?
It is a vitamin that acts as a hormone, which some of your vitamins do. So it's kind of both, but it's involved in bone formation. Without vitamin D, you're not going to lay down bone. In fact, you'll break down bone. It's involved in so many processes that if you don't have it, you're going to be very sick. And I think that's
And in speaking with the former nutritionist and in reviewing the former reports, just even 15 to 18 years ago, maybe 1 out of every 100 clients had any sort of toxic metal or any toxicity. Now we have 99 out of 100 with toxic levels of either lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, or aluminum, or the combination of both.
Another example of untold news or public information which the public needs to know about to make good decisions. This is a NOAA National Weather Service website. Seems innocuous, but the unspoken reality is in the term base reflectivity, seen on this site. No public explanations, only those allowed the knowing know that this means amount of sunlight reflected by aerial sprayed reflective material that shows up in our weather radar, yet local stations report real clouds and natural rain. Nothing is farther than the truth in these skies. Some weathermen now call the white haze skies filtered sunlight, but we are not told what the filter is. Let's continue the deception story with a definition of what might be behind or above the sky changes in America and around the world. Corporatism. Corporatism is a system of running a state using the power of organizations like businesses and trade unions that act or purport to act for large numbers of individuals. Corporatism came from 1930s fascist Italian politics. It is a military attitude in designer business suits. Powerful corporatism was evident, but not so clear to all, during and now after Macondo blew up mysteriously. The event is now called by some more honest federal officials an engineered catastrophe reminiscent of 9/11. The governmental operating system for the Gulf oil spill relief response was military in tactic and outcome, with lots of long-term and long-distance environmental collateral damage. This damage will continue for decades. It was not clear whose military or who was really in charge, BP or our military, but wedged in the middle of these two military-industrial elements, the third element of the trinity of corporatism are the scientists and engineers who design and build weapons of mass destruction for the complex, who devise plans to drill where we really should not be for the complex. It took scientists and engineers to design and build these planes and this technology used to modify weather, modify the planet, and compromise our life support system, changing everything for everyone without asking anyone for permission. Their silence on the subject of spraying says a lot about the character of many of our scientists. Silence has a price, apparently. Long-term silence on the subject of chemical spraying of the population is understandable because corporatism is passed on from company president to company president, from boardroom to boardroom over decades. From old royal bloodlines to new bloodlines over centuries, never changing the intent of the global corporation or corporatism. The prime directive of corporatism is to rule the planet and beat nature into submission. To hell with the future, even of its own corporatism. It is blind to injustice, it is blind to the natural environment, and the streaks in the sky are the evidence that it cannot stop itself once the lies and dollars are big enough. Corporations will do anything for a dollar, for control. For a lot of dollars and a lot of control, nothing is beyond their reach and stoop.
CNN just reported on high-level dispersal activity at 15, 20, 25,000 feet. I have a report today from airline pilots that there's multiple areas, crosses, and X's in the sky. Fishermen have taken pictures today. Can you tell me what division of EPA would have the permits for the high-level dispersant spraying that's going on right now and has been going on for 5 years over New Orleans refineries? Now the planes are out over the oil spill because the stratospheric ozone is gone.
You asked about aerial dispersion.
High level, I'm saying at 15, 20, 25,000 feet. It's documented. CNN put the story out. What division is putting the permits out for this high-level spraying that's going on?
The Federal On-Scene Coordinator from the U.S. Coast Guard and the National Incident Commander make the decision every day as to what methods are going to be used to fight this oil. And what Mary Landry, Admiral Mary Landry has made clear is that spraying is her least preferred method. She'd first rather burn it. When the seas are under 4 feet, she could burn it. She would rather skim it and try to catch it.
But she's allowed the high-level spraying over refineries for 5 years to fill in the ozone holes. You're not answering my question.
Sir,
What?
You have a question.
I do.
I'm not prepared to answer.
We should take nothing for granted.
What do you think about being out here?
I think we're in trouble. Many moons to come. My lifetime and then some.
What do you think about this secret project we're uncovering back here?
Well, it's like everything. Everything's always a secret until it's uncovered. And once it's uncovered, then it's too late.